70% of women say they experience significant stress during pregnancy. And being pregnant in 2025 and 2026 doesn't make it any easier. So whether you're struggling to get pregnant, got pregnant a little earlier than you hoped for, experienced losses, or have financial stress, or maybe had a traumatic birth before, finding providers who align with your priorities, appointments, or are just completely overwhelmed and scared of the unknown. Extreme stress during pregnancy is so valid. And a lot of time we can't just choose to escape stress. So why are we even talking about it? I want to tell you about something called fetal programming and how we react to stress, how it actually does shape our baby's development. But don't worry, there is hope too. We can't choose stress, but we can learn how to adapt and regulate so that our bodies can process it a little easier and teach our baby's nervous system how to be resilient. Let's get into it. So who is this video made for? This video is for pregnant moms who are dealing with chronic stress and want to understand how it's affecting their baby's development and what they can do to help their nervous system regulate despite the overwhelming circumstances. In this video, you'll discover how the umbilical cord connection actually programs your baby's nervous system and why up to 70% of pregnant women report significant stress and how that actually affects fetal development. The perfect storm that starts when pregnancy and how the neurologically focused chiropractic can help your nervous system shift from survival mode to regulation, creating a calm internal environment for you and your baby. All right, so I want to share Michaela's story. So Michaela is an awesome mom. She's just had her third child, and it's really fun because with her first two, there was some significant stress going on. Not to mention she was dealing with sciatica and trying to keep up with her two other kids during this pregnancy, but it's really fun because she increased her frequency between 2 and sometimes even 3 times a week, and her symptoms were actually minimal. She didn't have any more sciatica this adjustment or this pregnancy, and her assessments and her neurological scans were lining exactly up with how she was feeling. Her adjustments were being tailored to her, what her body needed, and it was showing. And just weeks from having her third kid, Michaela said that this was the best that she ever felt and the most confident she'd ever felt heading into labor and delivery. And so this is where it's really cool because she was actually able to have a VBAC, and she knew her body was ready because she'd kept her nervous system regulated throughout the entire pregnancy. And I'm just so excited for Michaela because AJ has now the healthiest head start to her life that she can have, and it's just getting started. So here's a couple main things I want to teach you about the nervous system. So your nervous system is teaching your baby's nervous system. So what that means is that the umbilical cord is more than just a nutrient delivery system. It's the electrical connection between you and your baby. So when your stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated in your body, they cross the placenta and actually flood your baby's developing brain. So your baby's nervous system is being programmed right now. If you're stuck in sympathetic or fight or flight mode, then your baby's nervous system learns this as a baseline normal. Think of it like this. The nervous system is the air traffic controller for every other system in your body. If the air traffic controller is stuck in panic mode, everything else malfunctions. So research actually published in Developmental and Psychopathology found that infants of mothers with the highest stress levels showed 22% higher stress reactivity. These babies were more easily upset, harder to soothe, and showed poor recovery from stress. And that pattern was established during pregnancy. The second point is that fetal programming creates lifelong patterns. So fetal programming means permanent changes. During pregnancy, your baby's amygdala, that's the fear center, actually develops larger and becomes more reactive when exposed to chronic stress. So the HPA, or that's the adrenal axis, your baby's stress response system actually gets programmed with a higher trigger baseline. Think of it like building a house on a cracked foundation. You can't remodel a house on a cracked foundation and expect it to be stable. Your baby's nervous system foundation is being built right now. And chronic stress creates cracks in that foundation before they're even born. And so the vagus nerve, the main nerve of the parasympathetic, which is the resting, relaxing, healing state, develops its tone during pregnancy. And so poor vagal tone from the prenatal stress can affect digestion, heart rate, inflammation, immune function, social engagement, and emotional regulation for kids. So kids whose mothers have experienced chronic stress during pregnancy actually have higher rates of ADHD, anxiety, and sensory processing disorder. And they can even manifest as physical health issues like asthma and allergies. This isn't bad luck, it's actually fetal programming. So the third thing I want to talk about is how this is actually stage one of the perfect storm. The perfect storm often begins before pregnancy even starts. Fertility struggles, multiple rounds of IVF, months or years of emotional weight, hormonal medications, financial strain, and relationship stress. By the time pregnancy happens, the nervous system is already depleted. The reserves have gotten low. And when pregnancy adds its own stressors, physical discomfort, fear about the baby's health, anxiety about labor, maybe even financial pressure, work, and relationship challenges, your baby is developing in this environment. And here's the truth. They don't grow out of it. They grow into it. Colic at 2 months become chronic constipation at 6 months. Sensory and constipation becomes sensory sensitivity at 18 months. Sensory issues become ADHD signs at age 5. ADHD becomes anxiety by age 10. The nervous system dysfunction that started during fetal programming just manifests differently as the brain develops. And point 4 I want to make is that you can actually help your nervous system regulate starting now. And the fact of the matter is that you can't eliminate every stressor. That's impossible. But you can help your nervous system shift from sympathetic dominance into parasympathetic function, creating a calm, regulated internal environment that supports healthy fetal programming. Neurologically focused chiropractic care works on that foundational level. Gentle, specific adjustments help release the parking brake of your nervous system, allowing it to shift out of survival mode and into regulation. So insight scans provide objective data. Heart rate variability measures the balance between your sympathetic and your parasympathetic systems. Surface electromyography, or SEMG, can actually show where your nervous system is holding tension. Then our neural thermography scans detect areas of dysregulation. So these scans track improvements in your nervous system's function, often before we even realize that there's systems or symptom changes. So when you're regulated, your baby learns regulated. This is the window of opportunity. Pregnancy is when the foundation gets built. What you do now affects not just your pregnancy, but it affects your child's lifelong health. Your baby's nervous system is being programmed in this moment. Your nervous system teaches your baby's nervous system. The intervention that you pursue now, addressing the nervous system dysregulation at the root level cause, affects your child's health trajectory for years down the road. And you do have more control than you think. Not by eliminating stress, but by helping your body regulate despite it. If you're ready to support your nervous system and give your baby the healthiest possible start, click the link in our bio, send us a DM, or schedule with Apex Family Chiropractic in Apple Valley, Minnesota. Let's help you create the calm, regulated foundation your baby deserves.